Have you ever really stopped to think about what you're made of? I mean, beyond the obvious stuff like bones and muscle. Down at the microscopic level, there's a whole universe inside of you. We're talking about the cell, the fundamental, absolute building block of all life. So let's just dive right into this incredible world, because it's the foundation of everything we understand about health and disease.
And this quote, wow, it really just says it all, doesn't it? It's from our source material, McCants and Huther's Path of Physiology, and it just perfectly sets the stage. Every single thing your body does, from thinking a thought, to lifting a finger, to fighting off a cold, it all comes down to the health and proper function of your cells.
All right, so here's our game plan for today. We're going to start with the sheer scale of it all. I mean, it's just mind-boggling. Then we'll take a tour inside what we'll call a cell city. We'll see how they talk to each other, figure out what powers them, and then, and this is the big one, we'll connect it all back to why this is so critical for understanding human health.
Okay, first up, let's just try to wrap our heads around the massive scale of this community that makes up, well, you. It's truly staggering.
100 trillion. Just let that number sink in for a second. It's almost impossible to really picture. But every single one of those cells has a specific job to do. And they aren't just loners doing their own thing, no way. They have to work together as what the source material calls a multicellular social organism. They have to cooperate, communicate, and coordinate to keep the whole system, you, running.
So how does an individual cell actually pull this off? You know, the best way to think about it is to imagine each one of your cells as its own tiny, bustling city. And just like any city, it's got different districts, different buildings, all with very specific jobs to do.
This analogy really helps make sense of it all. You can think of the nucleus as a combination of City Hall and the main library. It holds all the blueprints, right? All of our DNA. Then you've got the organelles out in the cytoplasm. These are the factories and the workshops, just churning out everything the cell needs to function. And that plasma membrane, that's your city's border control, super strict about what gets in and out. But it's also the main communications tower, sending and receiving messages 24/7.
And that communication part, oh, it is everything. For this society of 100 trillion cells to function as one, they have to be in constant contact. This cellular crosstalk is the absolute key to health, and when it breaks down, that's the very foundation of disease. So what's the end goal of all this chatter? Well, it's a state called homeostasis. This is the city's ultimate objective, to keep everything running smoothly, to keep the lights on, and to maintain a constant, stable balance. It's this dynamic equilibrium that is absolutely essential for our survival.
And as you can see here, cells have a few different ways of talking to each other. Sometimes it's direct contact, kind of like a tap on the shoulder. Other times, it's what we call paracrine signaling, which is like sending an office memo just to your closest coworkers. And then you have the big one, a citywide emergency broadcast sent through the bloodstream. That's hormonal signaling. It's an incredibly sophisticated social network that coordinates the whole shebang.
Okay, so a message arrives at the cell. How does the cell actually know what to do with it? Well, that happens through a process called signal transduction. You can basically think of this as how a cell reads its mail. An external signal, like a hormone, docks on the outside, and that triggers a whole chain reaction of events on the inside, telling the cell exactly what it needs to do next. Without it, the messages would arrive, but nobody would ever act on them.
Now, all this building, all this communicating, all this responding, it takes a ton of energy. So where does the power for this busy little cell city actually come from? Well, it all boils down to cellular metabolism.
I want you to meet ATP. This molecule is, without a doubt, the most important player when it comes to energy in your body. If our cell city had a form of money, it would be ATP. It is literally the cash that gets spent to power almost every single activity, from contracting a muscle to copying its own DNA.
And metabolism really has two sides of the same coin, and they work in this perfect cycle. On one side, you have anabolism. These are the big construction projects that use up ATP to build complex things the cell needs. And on the other side, you have catabolism. This is the demolition and recycling process where the cell breaks down molecules from food to release energy and make more of that precious ATP. It's a beautiful cycle of earning and spending.
Okay, so let's tie all of this together. We've seen how cells are organized like a city, how they communicate, how they get their power. But what happens when this perfectly ordered city gets put under serious stress? This is where we cross the line from normal biology into the world of pathophysiology.
You know, cells are actually pretty tough. When they're faced with stress, we're talking toxins, lack of oxygen, inflammation, you name it, they try their best to adapt. They might shrink or get bigger or even change their job description just to survive. But this adaptation, it's a temporary defense. If that stress keeps coming and doesn't let up, the cell gets pushed past its breaking point and into a state of injury.
And right here we can see exactly what that injury can look like. Up top, you see that nice, orderly, healthy tissue. But with chronic stress, it can start to change its form. That's called metaplasia, which you see on the bottom left. If the stress still continues, that organization can just completely break down into what we call dysplasia on the right. This cellular chaos is often the very last step right before a disease like cancer develops. In fact, this is exactly what clinicians are looking for in a test like a pap smear. They're trying to catch this disorganized, dysplastic state before it turns into something much worse.
So let's end on this question. If you think about it, understanding that single cell, its structure, its communication, its energy, is really the key to understanding the entire human body. Because when the rules of this cellular society break down, and when cells stop cooperating and stop communicating properly, well, that is the very definition of disease.